One image, one message, one moment that hits your mind and reshapes your day. This is One Frame Style. Somewhere in you, there is a version that survived 8 years of silent panic and never once got a medal for it. Tonight, that version wants to speak. The other version is still telling it to sit down. You call it patience. It calls itself waiting. Waiting for someone to open a door you were never given the address to. Every night, you tell yourself you're being humble, being careful, being smart. You are not being smart. You are being held hostage by your own permission. For 8 years, you walked the same block. Not a street, a loop inside your own mind. The kind you circle so many times, you stop noticing you're still standing in the same place. Panic that came without warning in rooms that were supposed to feel safe. A chest that closed for no reason in the middle of a normal Tuesday. Nights where your own bedroom felt like something to escape from and there was nowhere to run because the thing chasing you lived inside your own chest. Nobody saw it. You made sure of that. You smiled in rooms where you were quietly disappearing. You showed up to things you don't remember attending because your body was there and the rest of you was somewhere else, fighting a war nobody else could see the scoreboard of. And somewhere in that loop, a voice started making sense to you. Quiet, reasonable, patient. The most dangerous kind of voice because it never screamed, it reasoned. You already tried before. You already know how this ends. Why perform hope again just to watch it collapse in front of people who are already waiting for you to fail? Staying small isn't defeat, it's strategy. Nobody can humiliate a man who never stood up. That voice was never trying to destroy you. That was never the plan. It was trying to keep your life exactly the way it was. Because as long as nothing changed, nothing could be lost again. Comfort disguised as protection. Fear wearing the mask of wisdom. So you shrank the version of yourself you showed the world. You called it staying grounded. It was staying hidden. You called it being realistic. It was surrender wearing a calmer name. Every month, that loop got a little more familiar, and familiar started to feel safe. And safe, given enough time, started to feel permanent, like a sentence instead of a season. That is the real danger no one warns you about. Not failure, repetition. Failure ends. Repetition just continues, quietly, until one day you look up and 8 years are gone and you cannot remember the last time you did something for the first time. The distance between the man you were becoming and the man you settled for kept growing, one quiet, unremarkable day at a time. The kind of distance you don't notice crossing because no single day feels like the day everything was decided. You stopped counting the years by what you built. You started counting them by what you survived. And somewhere in there, without ever agreeing to it out loud, you started to believe survival was the ceiling. That this was simply who you were now. That the door was for other people. People who never walked your block, never knew your particular loop, never had to negotiate with their own mind just to leave the house. Then, on no special day, something shifted. Not a sign, not a breakthrough, not a stranger's speech that rewrote everything in a single night. You didn't wake up fearless. You woke up exactly as afraid as the day before. The only difference was one single, ordinary refusal. You stopped negotiating with the voice that told you to wait one more year, one more sign, One more reason to believe you'd earned the right to move. You did not feel ready. You moved anyway. That is the part nobody puts on a poster, because it is not glamorous. It is not a lightning bolt splitting the sky. It is a decision made by someone who is still afraid, on a day that looks exactly like every other day that came before it. The only thing that changed was the answer. You did not wait for the fear to disappear. You built a rule instead, and it became the first real structure in 8 years of chaos. The fear speaks, but it does not get to vote. You picked one thing, one door you had spent years waiting for someone else to open, and you built it yourself. Badly, imperfectly, on your own terms, with your own hands, on a Tuesday nobody will remember but you. The panic did not vanish. It never fully does. It just stopped being the only voice allowed to speak in the room. And for the first time in 8 years, you did something that had nothing to do with surviving the day, and everything to do with building the next one. Not because you'd conquered fear, because you'd finally stopped asking its permission. That is not motivation. Motivation fades by lunchtime, gone by the time real resistance shows up. This was a decision, and decisions, unlike feelings, do not need to be renewed every morning. They only need to be kept. The block you used to walk for 8 years is still there, but you do not walk it anymore. You built a door on it. Nobody handed it to you. You built it out of the exact years everyone assumed had broken you. They were wrong. Those years were never wasted, and they were never a life sentence. They were construction. Years spent forging, without knowing it, the exact discipline, patience, and refusal it would take to stand here. This is not about goals. Goals expire the moment you hit them. This is about purpose. Purpose does not expire. It compounds. So the next time that old voice tells you to wait for the right door, remember this. You were never waiting for the right door. You were waiting for the old version of you to give permission. It never will. It was never supposed to. Nobody gave you that door. You built it from the years everyone thought had broken you. It was never broken. It was under construction. One image, one truth. If it hit you, it was meant for you. Stay here. More truth is waiting.